Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the science of learning, all thanks to the incredible book, Make It Stick. And let me tell you, what we're about to uncover might just prove that the way you've been studying your whole life is probably all wrong. So, let's be honest for a second. When you have a big test or you really need to learn something important, does your study process look anything like this? Yeah, I thought so. If you're nodding along right now, you are in the vast majority. These are the classic go-to methods, right? You reread the chapter a few times, you get out your highlighters and make the pages glow, and of course, you pull that all-nighter to cram everything in. It feels super productive. You're putting in the hours, the words on the page start to look really familiar. You feel like you've totally got this. Well, here's the bombshell from the world of cognitive science. These common strategies are actually some of the least effective ways to learn anything. It turns out they're not just inefficient, they actually create a dangerous illusion that you know something when you really don't. The problem has a name. It's called the illusion of fluency. See, we confuse the easy feeling of recognizing the text, that's fluency, with the actual ability to recall and use the information from memory, that's mastery. Fluency feels easy, but it disappears in a flash. Real mastery, well, that feels hard, but it's built to last. And this brings us to the core, kind of mind-blowing idea of the whole book. If learning feels easy and comfortable, you're probably wasting your time. Real, durable learning, the kind that sticks with you, is supposed to feel effortful. It's that very struggle that makes the memory stronger. All right, so if rereading is out, then what should we be doing instead? Well, the first big secret is a powerful technique called retrieval practice. You can think of it like hitting the save button for a memory in your brain, but you gotta press it with some force. So what is it? It's simply the act of pulling information out of your brain instead of just passively trying to shove it in. Every single time you force yourself to recall a concept, you're not just remembering it, you're actually strengthening the neural pathway to it, carving a deeper groove so it's easier to find the next time. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the proof. Researchers ran this amazing experiment in a real-life 8th grade science class. They divided the material. For some topics, students would just review them the old-fashioned way. For other topics, they were given short, low-stakes quizzes. The results on the final exam were just wow. For the material they only reviewed, the students scored a C+. But for the material they practiced retrieving with quizzes, they scored a solid A-. That's a huge difference. The simple act of testing themselves was way more powerful than just reading the material over and over. And listen, this whole idea isn't just about getting a better grade on a test. This principle of effortful recall is absolutely critical when the stakes are, quite literally, life and death. Let me tell you the story of a neurosurgeon named Mike Ebersold. He's in the middle of a high-stakes surgery. His patient has a tiny shotgun pellet blocking a major vein in their brain. He knows that the second he removes that pellet, he's got just a couple of seconds to act before a catastrophic bleed. No time to think. Dr. Ebersold saved that patient. And how? Because he had mentally retrieved and rehearsed a very specific, complex technique so many times that it became automatic. He didn't just review the procedure, he practiced recalling every single step until it was a conditioned reflex he could perform under unbelievable pressure, without conscious thought. And that, right there, is the true power of effortful retrieval. It's not just about memorizing some facts. It's about building these deep, flexible mental models in your brain that you can rely on when the pressure is on and you need them the most. Okay, I can hear you thinking, this is all great, but how do I actually do this? Perfect. Let's build your new, science-backed learning playbook right now. It really boils down to 3 game-changing strategies. First, self-test all the time. Put the book down, cover the notes, and force your brain to pull out the key ideas. Second, space it out. Stop cramming. By spreading your practice sessions apart, you let yourself forget a little, which makes the act of recalling it again harder, and that makes the memory stronger. And third, mix it up. Don't just drill one thing for hours. Switch between different but related subjects. It feels less productive, but it builds a much deeper and more flexible understanding. So look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The single biggest, most powerful change you can make in how you learn is to stop passively rereading and start actively retrieving. And that's our look at Make It Stick. It really forces us to realize that the struggle we feel when we're learning isn't a sign we're failing. It's the sign that it's actually working. So that leaves me with one final question for you. This isn't just about studying. What else in your life? A new skill,
a language, an instrument, are you now ready to master the hard way?